welcome to No Enemies Here, the show that shows you stuff. Hey, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I'm a little bit under the weather, but not by chance. This was wantingly so. And you ask, how? How can you wantonly be under the weather? Well, I went for my third shot, and it was Moderna. And I think the third shot, they're half doses. And I told the lady who was pricking me, that's right, do of that what you will. So she pricked me, and I said, lady, I'm gonna be so sick on this. And she says, no, think positive. It's not gonna do nothing to you. I went to bed at 6:30 p.m. last night, and I woke up at 7:30 a.m. this morning. What can I tell you? That's what it is. We do it to ourselves. Well, I guess in my philosophy, I guess, or the majority philosophy is, I did it to protect my family. Whatever, you know. It's like a flu shot. Funny thing, it's a flu shot. Get your flu shot so you don't get any flu. But you get all the symptoms. My bones ache, everything aches. Anyways. Hey, Flying Pig Games. Old School Tactical Volume 1, 2nd edition. Not a reprint, they say. Good. And like I said, great production. Really? I mean, Mark asked me to mention this, and I'm mentioning this with all heart. Man, he doesn't have to sell his games. I mean, think of that what you will. Sell his games. Obviously, he's got to sell his games to make a living. But he doesn't have to sell his games. The games sell themselves. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I was thinking of having another interview with Ted Racer. I like Ted Racer. He's my kind of guy. He's cynical. He's intelligent. I learned stuff from him. It's just great. I love Ted Racer. You know what I'm saying? And I got to do another one with Brian Train. Put these two guys together, man. They could synthesize the world. Synthesize. Word I just created. There's some bone broth here. Some chicken bone broth. I just burnt my tongue. I won't taste anything for the next 10 hours. But anyways, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy it so much, like the news type thing. You know, it's a bit of a cheap way out than the news thing. You know, you show everybody what everybody's doing, and you don't have to review anything, so you don't have to be criticized. You don't have to be nothing. What can I tell you? You know, don't shoot the messenger. I'm all for that. This is Sparta. No. He kicked the messenger now, didn't he? Hey man, it's 4 years I've been running this channel. In a month and a half, it's gonna be 5 years, man. Woo! 5 years. And it's 5 years every time I turn on the camera to film and talk. My dog, who's sitting on the couch, always gets up and leaves. I guess my tone is annoying. To her, at least. She's got good ears. What was I saying? Yeah, so 5 years, and I started a new channel. Like I said, and I'm right into it. It's just about to be posted. It's called The Fokker Circus. Check it out just for poop and giggles. And for people, whatever, even for people who don't smoke it. It's the same format, as I said. I'm being redundant. But I'm starting from scratch, man. And I have 1 subscriber, and I think it's me. Hey, you know, it's a lot of fun. It's a challenge. I love a good challenge, especially something that I'm interested in is filming, videoing, being the anchor man-ish. It's one way of, I guess, letting the world know what I think. The world. We're not that big, eh? Wargaming community. So I went for a bigger thing. The pipe tobacco community. How big can it be? I'm just saying, I always choose, well, I always do things I like. I've never done anything I don't like because I can't. Okay, it's not because I'm superhuman. It's just I can't do something I don't like. So it's like my girlfriend, fiance, wife to be said, man, you always choose these obscure things, you know? How you think you're gonna get ahead anywhere? I said, hey, look, man, I went for music, right? Music is not obscure, and I chose the marimba. The marimba. I haven't played marimba in 15, going on to 20 years. Why? Because I got sick of the sound. Hey, look, man, I did it for 30 years. What do you want me to tell you? And right now I've got carpal tunnel syndrome on both hands, and I'm going to be operated in February. And they say start with your dominant hand, right? So at least it heals sooner, whatever. And I'll keep you updated on that. I'll be typing with my left hand. And I got to take a month off, man. A month off from work. At Amazon, because I'm part-time, I think full-time too. If you take a month off, you don't get paid for it. I mean, there's deservedly so. But I'm looking into another job right now, and that's, again, working in the kitchen for, it's government-run old folk homes. And I guess I'm checking it out because I'm going to be there one day. And I'm going to be in the kitchen, man, and it's not that big. It's 3 days on, and then 4 days on, including weekends. And it starts at 10 and it finishes at 6:15. It's a Cinderella job, if you think about it. I worked in the kitchen for 20 years in a psychiatric environment. Besides, excuse me, besides being a counselor there. I did kitchen. I love kitchen, right? So who likes to cook? I like to cook. Okay, 20 years. And hopefully I get it. I'm supposed to be interviewed soon-ish. The lady seemed very keen on hiring me. That's because nobody wants to work in, I guess, a COVID high environment. You know, it pays like 19 bucks an hour, but because you're risking your life, they give you $3 more an hour. Oh, man. If I was working in a nuclear power plant, what would they give me? $5 more an hour? Woo! But anyways, hey, look, I'm not complaining. Money's coming in, not yet, but money's coming in, and we all need money, right? Plus, I do stuff like this. My life is not work. My life is stuff like this. And it's fun, and it keeps me going. What keeps me going? Yeah, it keeps me going. Not that it keeps me going. I do it because I like it. So, you know what? Check out my new site, the Fokker Circus. You know what? Subscribe. Give me some numbers, man. You know, when I get numbers up to at least 3, we'll have a party. I already interviewed a master blender, super nice guy, Jeremy Reeves of Cornell and Deal. And Cornell and Deal are a South Carolina based company. I'll buy my tobacco there. I love their products. Man, they have 220 blends on his own. Plus, he subcontracts and creates other blends for other companies. This guy is amazing, man. Amazing. And things you learn, like how many bowls of tobacco does he smoke a day to keep... Well, look at that. That could be the interview. Hold on a second. It is. I'll keep you on. Hello? Oui, c'est Daniel. Oui, Annika, bonjour. Merci d'avoir appelé. Ça va bien, vous? Oui. Oui. Oui, allez-y. Oui. Oui. À 14h, c'est 2 heures, c'est bien ça? Est-ce que c'est possible d'avoir une heure plus tôt? Oui. Oui, excellent. Alors, c'est le 24? 24 à 11 heures. Oui, excellent. Je vous remercie beaucoup. Oui? Oui. Il n'y a pas de problème. Est-ce que je l'envoie au même courriel Annika? Ah bon, ok. Oui. Ça, c'est un. Est-ce que vous avez l'autre? No enemies here. Oui. Oui, s'il vous plaît. Je te remercie, Annika. Bye-bye. I got the interview, man. Look at that. You think, I'm not a liar. I can't lie. I'm telling you. You want to call her? I'll give you her number. It wasn't fake. So, I got an interview Monday the 24th at 11 a.m. before I start my job at Amazon, which is testy right now because I'm suspended. I'm suspended from Amazon. Why? Because a manager was being belligerent with me. I complained against him, so they suspend me! Hey, look, I spoke to my consigliere now, psychologist, Robert Carroll. The guy's amazing. I love that guy. When he talks, I listen. Why? Because he's younger than me, and he's got more money. Why wouldn't you listen to a guy who's younger and has got more money than you? Huh? Anyways, that's not why. He had 100% accurate and great advice. 100%. And as a psychologist, Robert Carroll is not expensive. I'll leave his number down below. You can contact him, and he's got a lemonade stand. Hey, I'm happy. I'm a little bit pumped. I guess the show's gonna be better because I'm pumped. Eh? That was great. I'm glad. I'm gonna leave this on, the whole conversation, the one-way conversation. And yes, she does speak English, but she works for the Quebec government, so ya gotta speak French, because we have we have laws here about French and English. So French always comes first and English second. And we also have a society that takes care of that, and it's l'Office de la langue française, the Office of the French language. It's like a Gestapo thing, but don't worry about it. Yeah, they torture you in different ways. As a matter of fact, there was a story once they went into a restaurant, and because they check restaurants, right? Because they want to ruin a restaurant's life. Not that it's bad enough with COVID, but anyways. So they went into a restaurant and they saw that the taps for the water, hot and cold, and it was written hot and cold. Well, you're in Quebec. You can't have hot and cold written on the taps. You gotta have chaud et froid. So they fined the restaurant. That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Anyways, this guy was an idiot. This person, I don't know if it was a guy or a gal, but they made a circus out of it. I mean, come on, hot and cold, chaud et froid on the taps. Seriously, the guy probably bought the restaurant with that already in it. You know? Oh my God. The guy must have flipped out. Are you serious? Hot and cold? Anyways, I would have taken the guy's ID and I would have met him later. You see, Robert tells me that I gotta relax. There's an old Buddhist story is where someone gets angry all the time, flies off the handle. I'm the kind of guy that flies off the handle. And then I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, just shut up first and don't fly off the handle. So it says basically, one of the Buddhists gave this lady who always flies off the handle and is sorry after, a vial of medicine. So he said, every time you get angry, open the vial of medicine, take 3 drops. Obviously, it turns out to be that it was water. So basically he's saying, shut up. When you get angry, shut up. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta learn how to shut up. But that's why I have a team of psychologists like Robert Carroll and Gilbert Tostevin and Carl Kratter. These are my psychologists, man. These are the people I listen to. I think I pronounced Kratter the wrong name. I think it's Kreeter. Yeah, Carl Kreeter from the War Game Boot Camp. Plus a lot of you other guys, Douglas Gearhart. You know what I'm saying? There's Mark Wilson. These are all people. STUKAJOE. STUKAJOE's funny though, because when I give him my woes and my tsaurus, he's dying of laughter. That's therapy for me too, because it shows how ridiculous and caricature-ish the situation is, right? And like I said, man, life, live it now, because if you're gonna wait for tomorrow to be happy, who knows? You might get hit by a plane or something. Not that weird things haven't happened. Anyways, have a good show. Please check out the Fokker Circus. Give it a look. Subscribe. You know, bring the numbers up. Maybe my sponsors, you know, will sponsor me more. They'll say, hey, this guy's got, you know, 1 million subscribers. He's serious. And so life goes on, and I would love to keep doing content like this and live off it, man. Why? Because I love it. And a job that you love and money comes in? What, are you kidding me, man? Anyways. The interview right in front of your eyes. Have a good show, man.
This is Riccardo Massini, and this time, the greatest day in history and games is January 27th, 1944, the day when one of the greatest sieges of all history ended, the siege of Leningrad. The great city situated in the north of western Russia on the shores of the Baltic Sea on one side and not far from Lake Ladoga on the other was founded in 1703 by Tsar Peter the Great under the name of St. Petersburg. It became the co-capital of Russia together with Moscow and probably its greatest cultural and economic center. Then, in 1917, came the Communist Revolution that actually started just there, with the great riots and the assaults on the Tsar's Winter Palace. By then, the city had already forsaken its too much German-sounding name to adopt a more Slavic Petrograd. But it will change once again to Leningrad as a tribute to the great father of the revolution, Vladimir Ulyanov Lenin. After the stabilization of the communist regime, everybody knew that Leningrad would be one of the major targets for a possible invasion from Germany, leading to the construction of great fortifications around the city. But what the Russians did not know was that Adolf Hitler wanted not just to occupy Leningrad, but raze it to the ground, strip the entire area of its resources, deport its population, and give the few remaining scraps to his Finnish allies. Everything became clear after the start of hostilities with Germany in June 1941, when the Wehrmacht columns of Army Group North advanced towards Leningrad under clear orders of not accepting any form of capitulation. Simultaneously, the Finns attacked from the north, regaining much of the territory lost during the previous Winter War. In the following months and then years, Russian defenders made everything that was humanly possible to save the city, sacrificing their lives to hold the defensive perimeter, transporting supplies on the iced waters of Lake Ladoga, trying to evacuate as many civilians as they could. But even so, the sufferings of Leningrad for the following 900 days were just atrocious. With almost all communications with the rest of the country cut by the besiegers, starvation, disease, constant bombing, and infantry assaults decimated both the soldiers and civilians. In those terrible days, even some episodes of cannibalism, fortunately very few, were reported. But it was not easy for the German besiegers too, progressively entangled in an endless operation in very inclement weather, tying up lots of troops badly needed on other sectors of the Eastern Front. Also, the Finns simply limited themselves to occupation of the national territory previously occupied by Soviet troops and reluctantly collaborated to a not totally effective blockade of the supply lines through Lake Ladoga. And lastly, on August 9, 1942, all the radios present in the area, both German and Soviet, were filled by the notes of a symphony. Symphony No. 7, Leningrad, composed by Dmitri Shostakovich and defiantly played by the besieged Leningrad City Orchestra. The siege dragged on, but a series of offensives and counteroffensives finally broke the German encirclement on that fateful January 27, 1944. Leningrad was free and finally saved. The impact of its resistance on the outcome of the Eastern Front operations was relevant, but another consideration has to be made. The number of casualties suffered during its 872-day-long siege is greater than the number of all American and British victims of the war combined. Once again, a titanic struggle. One of the greatest episodes of all history, but this time I've chosen quite a small game about it. Leningrad by Decision Games. A tried and true SPI classic, reprinted in a new and attractive format, Leningrad is a great starting title for anyone who wants to try war games for the first time, but also dear memory and always a nice, quick gaming experience for veteran players. The rules are basic and simple, depicting the initial German offensive and the desperate struggle by the Soviets to hold their fortified lines. But there's a twist to that. As a variant to the original Panzergruppe Guderian system, all the Soviet troops are randomly mixed up, and not even the Soviet player knows the real fighting value until the actual contact with enemy forces. This very peculiar fog of war simulating the very mixed value of Soviet formations in this very early stage of the conflict makes the game highly replayable and suited to repeated solitaire play, also thanks to its very limited playing time. A small but genial title, perfect as a gift to a non-wargamer curious about a hobby, but, at least for me, also not to be missed in any Grognard collection. After all, some games have not become classics just by chance, don't you think? So, that's it for the time. See you on the next battlefield. Ciao!
BLASTPOP takes a look at the Nagorno-Karabakh. Karabakh. Too many K's. The Karabakh War, 1992 to 1994, published by Decision Games in the Modern War magazine number 54. Joel Toppin is checking out Bayonets and Tomahawks, a game by Mac Rodrigue, a fellow paysan of the Quebec Peninsula. And if you look at that map, you see in the middle, the first thing you see is Acadie. Well, Acadie means Acadia, but that's a chunk of Quebec. How can it be called Acadie? Well, there's a lot of stuff. And on the right, there's Nova Scotia, where all the Acadians are from. I don't know where they landed, the Acadians. I'm sure they landed in Quebec, and they made their way to Nova Scotia, but I don't know if it's the opposite. But I'll tell you something. My girlfriend, fiancée, and wife-to-be is from Nova Scotia. Completely south, where you see Cape Sable, even more south than that, in a town called Pubnico, where 2,000 people reside, living on lobster. That is, their livelihood is on lobster and fishing. Now, these guys, these are the toughest people I know. Sure, what's not tough about going out 200 miles into the Atlantic Ocean with waves bigger than New York to catch a couple of lobster? Hey man, you gotta be a real man, all right? And one of my brother-in-laws or uncle-in-laws from the other side's family is one just guy like that. His name is, and check out this name, check out this name, Jean-Paul. You want a tough name? That's a tough name, Jean-Paul. He's a geologist by profession, but he makes his money in fishing. You want to mess with this guy? Come on. I'll set up a fight, a bare-knuckle fight, with anybody in JP. The psychologist lawyer. Well, that's a contradiction. KilRoyWasHere. He goes off the shelf with alternate history war games and his famous Coffee with Kilroy, edited by Robert Crowley. Crowley? Wasn't he a Satanist? Crowley. Alistair Crowley was, not Robert. And also, Rob checks out Maquis, 2nd edition, an unboxing and a brief overview. You know, that's a fun game. You're resistance and the Nazis are coming after you, you know? It's like, you're gonna die anyways. Caesar sees Rome in 20 minutes by Plastic Soldier Company. Hey, I don't know about this game. Is this a, what's his face name game? I like that guy. He's Italian. He did Blitzkrieg. I got it. Paolo Mori. Yep. I like these small games. Why? Because I'm a small man. Small in stature, that is. Not small where it counts. You figure it out. Anyways, Divine Right, 25th Anniversary Edition. What's he doing? He's getting away from war games. I'm gonna have to slap him out. Also, Clash of Giants, Civil War by GMT, an unboxing. This is a game designed by, if I'm not mistaken, Ted Racer. This week on Legendary Tactics, 6 videos. Crystal Clash tutorial. Also, full game and review of Crystal Clash. Goes back on his strategy card by card of Twilight Struggle, Cambridge 5, and This War of Mine, a game dramatization. Continuing with his Twilight Struggle card by card, the card's special relationship. You know what? What's that guy's name from the Player's Aid? Grant! Grant! I'll beat you. Anyways, on this last secret weapon, Super Auto Pet's secret weapon, beginner strategies. Wojennik! Michel! Mais t'es où? Qu'est-ce qui se passe, putain? Anyways, Graj Planzał. I probably said it wrong, but it's Polish. And on Wojennik TV, ADAPT, Resenia, or Resenza. You know, all I can read is 2 videos here because they're in Polish, for our Polish viewers that is. Normandy, the beginning of the end, and baseball highlights, an unboxing. I think that's a cool box. The Hugh Hefner of war games, Warty Robe, also known as... I forget. That's what happens sometimes. Todd! That's what happens sometimes too, it just hits you. I don't know why it hits you. You forget and then all of a sudden, bang! You know what I'm saying? Anyways, he unboxes and paints 2D6 Crete Kickstarter from 6mm World War II. I don't say from. I don't know why I said from. Also, Eat Adolf Jurassic Edition live play. He's going crazy. And a 15mm World War II Jean Blue Gap Scenario 3 After Action Report. All this on the Hugh Hefner of War Games. Warty Robe plays World War II. Mark Felton with a delicate subject of sex slaves. Japanese military mistreatment of Dutch women. Leave our women alone! Tony of Tony's Board Life is giving us his final part. Turn 6 of May 27th, 1900. He fails to tell me the game. But, what kind of game is this? Well, I see binoculars. And, looks like Devil Warfare. Alright then. GIMPY of the GIMPY Gamer. 4 videos out this week. Bolt Action Review through Part 3. Panzerkampf Kickstarter. And AC/DC Happy Hour. And Twilight 2000. The Starter Box. The Gentlemen of the Player's Aid. Our solo playthrough of Gorbachev. Chev, the Kid Chov. From White Dog Games. And they're unboxing CARROLL 1943 from Worthington Publishing. Also reviewing Last 100 Yards Airborne over Europe from GMT. And unboxing Fornovo 1495 from Compass Games. The debonair and worldly doctor, Dr. Cody Carlson, on the Discriminating Gamer, is checking out Scope, Stalingrad. Is this a game of sniperism? Yes, I invented a new word. Born Game Chronicles looks at Lazarus Ridge preview playthrough, part 3. This is a game by, you got it, David Townsend. My brother STUKAJOE only has 3 videos out on this. What we see here, right? He's checking out BeotaCon and also another video of Rise of totalitarianism, an unfinished overview video, and he's testing BeotaCon number 3. Actually, he's got way more videos out than that. As a matter of fact, he's got a lot of taking walks at BeotaCon. I saw one of them, and man, that place is huge. I don't know if they're in an airplane hangar or something, but bloody hell, man. BeotaCon is a con to be taken seriously throughout the world! On the Smithsonian Channel, the ancient Greeks became fascinated with ancient Egypt. Well, yeah. Also, rare training film shows Nazi guide to destroying tanks. I checked that out, man. Pretty interesting videos. You see some elephants and some tiger tanks. Man, these were behemoths. Something like my ex-mother-in-law. She was a behemoth too. Anyways, summer of 1943, the Nazis became fixated on Kursk. Yeah, and got shellacked. Whatever. The beautiful videos of Seek Out and Play is checking out Undaunted Reinforcements, the 4-player rules, a game designed by David Thompson and Trevor Benjamin. I keep forgetting Trevor Benjamin. Look, man, he is half that game. I don't care what anybody says. On Gaming with the Colonel, Sean Moore and Gaming with the Colonel. Run through a Sam Grant by Columbia Games. Also, a comparison to Bobby Lee. This is a Columbia Games game. Unfortunately, I don't have Bobby Lee. I'd like to have Bobby Lee. You know, you gotta see what the other side did. Or are they the other side? Or are, I was gonna say we, being a Canadian. What the hell do I know? Or is the North the other side? Ha! Conspiracies abound. The cuddly and lovely Rough Swordsman Wargamer is having a video on part 2 of their live playthrough of Red Storm. The scenario is RS4 opening rounds, and he gets to use surface-to-air missiles. For our Italian listeners, Riccardo Mazzini, the Professor, amongst other things, because this is a man we call a Renaissance man. That's right. This week, on his Warlog, in English, Bismuth Solitaire and Waterloo Solitaire, all by Worthington Publishing. As I said, this is a gold mine. Grant Wiley, ya did good. Patrick of Patrick's Tactics and Tutorials, Command and Colors Ancients. Pharsalus. I was going to say phallus. But anyways, Command and Colors Ancients, 315. Also, Combat Commander Resistance, Scenario 65. I've got that. And here come the Rebels! Scenario number 2, Harper's Ferry. This week on my own Worst Enemy 2 videos, a gameplay of Across 5 Aprils, the P-Ridge conclusion. He's been going on for this for a while. And unboxing of CSAs, or I forgot completely. CSA, Confederate something A? Ah, God help me someone. America's Civil War 1861 to 1865. Mo! Of Mo's game table hasn't been a slouching amount of videos he's been putting out. The first one is Save Afghanistan, Conrad, and Save South Vietnam. A first look. And AC/DC, January 2020, Happy Hour. Also James Buckley's Purple Haze. And Chris Aitken's Global War. And Bruce Maxwell Air and Armor. And World War III Roundtable. For our Italian listeners, Mauro Faina is always shellacking the amount of videos. This guy lives, breathes, poops war games. Really? Really? I'm telling you. So episode 39, he's live with his Gianni Zero Nero, with the Jaws of Victory 2, and he's also live with the Jaws of Victory, as we can see his face there, and he checks out Nero, Sword of Rome 3, or I should say third part. And live with his Johnny Zero Nero, where he goes into detail on Sword of Rome. There he is, look at him. Monty! He's not pretentious at all! God! Montgomery nearly killed in Germany in 1945. Man, if he was killed nearly in 1945, the war was over. What would that have accomplished? Should have been earlier. I'm joking, people! This is what's happening on Mark Felton Productions. On the channel that is Little Wars TV. How can you get a large army of miniatures on the tabletop quickly? Well, how to efficiently paint 10mm armies? Well, I don't know, Little Wars TV. Why use 10mm armies? Just paint bigger millimeters! On Kings and Generals this week. Kings and Generals. Man, I can't read. I'm trying to go too fast. And that's just the way life is for me, huh? I'm trying to go too fast and I miss words. Not words, but letters. Sometimes words. Sometimes whole sentences. Sometimes the whole bloody book. But anyways, his first video was Caesar assassinated for cuckolding the wrong whatever, killed by love? Ma, come on, there was no love in the Roman times. Also, Battle of Gadeush. Or Gadeush. Whatever, they all look like Bach to me. In 1712, it's a Great Northern War, number 5. And Abbasid Revolution, how the Umayyad Caliphate fell. Yeah, can't we just speak normal words here? Seriously? You know, make my life difficult. Continuing with Invasion of New Britain, Pacific War number 9. This was an animated thingy. You know, I like this channel. Come on. And 200.9, or as I say, 2.39 million subscribers agree. What can I tell you? And is The Witcher entirely Polish? Boo. I didn't even know he was Polish. Anyways, Russian colonization of Americas. Yeesh. Now that's a contentious issue. Jose Luis, also known as Julius Fairfax, and this is for our Spanish-speaking audience. He's checking out NATO Air Commander, a game designed by Brad Smith, published by HOLLANDSPIELE. The quiet but formidable foe is back, Jonathan Townsend, and he checks out the battle for Surari. Yeah, Surari Island by Ian Weir, or Wire, or Weir, of 2020. This is the battle Sisu. Now I'm looking at that map and I'm saying, what the hey is going on? Huh? What? There's battle. Look how much place there is for retreat. Run away! The brain, that is the former Grognard of the Year, Jim Ozarski, is playing Ridge for Rommel, and I'm not going to pronounce the first word. And on the second video, the Battle of Wagram or Wagram for bloody big battles, and riding shotgun for Ruthless, Jim Ozarski. You want to learn something? You shut up and you listen to Jim. One of my all-time favorites, Cynical Man! ID Jester. Doesn't sit on his laurels, man. This guy works a regular job and does 12 videos in a week. Man, come on. So let's name some of these videos. He checks out We Stand Alone, not a DLC, but an expansion from Lock and Load Tactical, and this is based on Band of Brothers. Also, he's in there with the Trio Gang in the War Room. These guys have a blast, and it's a blast watching them. Too bad they don't smoke a pipe. But anyways, he checks out Talisman Mega Campaign with all expansions set up. And he gets into the boardroom with Dale, the casual gamer. Also checks out Labyrinth War on Terror, a game by the Terror Man himself, Volko Runke. I mean, you know, if you didn't know, Volko that he's a sweetheart of a guy, because he is. He's a sweetheart, right? But imagine if you didn't know the guy, and it was like a, what are those spy novels by, whatever his face is, and they made movies with Matt Damon. God, I forget. The Bourne Identity. And you're Jason Bourne. And supposedly, on your tail is Volko Runke. Man, I'd be pooping my pants. Also checks out Panzer Grenadier Kursk, South Flank, and looks at Eldritch Horror Masks of Niralf. I don't know what he's saying here. But you know what? Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft, man, what's wrong with people? How come we've taken this guy into our psyche? Why are underwater octopus-looking creatures freaking us out? Don't we eat them? The Hells Angels and philosopher of war games, Jason Cruz, AJ Toynbee. Epic Battles, Waterloo, now shipping. Check out this guy. You want to mess with this guy? This guy's gonna kill you with a look. An after-action report of a lost victory on Hex to Hex and Tannenberg, Der Weltkrieg, Episode 2, The Final. And one of the master teachers, Ben Harsh, of Harsh Rules, is unboxing Uberstacks and Ubertrays component. Also unboxing the Undaunted series, the whole shebang. You got it, baby. Dragoon Commander and Brant. I gotta have Brant on. Get to know this guy. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know your enemies till you get to know them. I'm joking. He's checking out the Second Battle of Kharkov for 2 vids and making an artillery war game from scratch. What was he thinking? Splendid failure, he says. Challenges of reconstruction and democracy. Well, Brant, what do you want to be, socialist like us? Anyways, game design planning the American Revolution and designer showcase. Songs for War, I should say Song for War. Yeah. Diagonal Moves plays a game from one of the most handsome designers around, David Thompson. Undaunted North Africa, the 2-player playthrough. The British long-range desert group attempt to ferry a secret agent behind enemy lines in this playthrough. God, the tension! Dave of Dave's Gaming Gang, Enemy Action Ardennes, the German Solo. That's what GS stands for. Thanks, people. That's what he's looking at. And Data-Driven Football, Raider versus Broncos, 1986. What the hell? 1986? It's all or nothing for dad versus son. Sure, he goes on hiatus for a while and then comes back with 6 videos. Holy moly! And this time he's playing Modern Battle Tank, a game by James M. Day. Scenarios 1, turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then he says, that's all, folks. Well, I hope he survived. On Compass Games Live, episode 69, we have Bruce Maxwell and developer Fred Schwartz on show, and as you can see, Fabrizio Vianello from Thin Red Line Games hails them that we are not worthy. Well, Fabrizio, speak for yourself. Well, I can't really say that. I'm not a designer. He's a designer, so he knows who the masters are. I take it back, Fabrizio. Defa nervoso. I love this guy, Combat Board Games. He's unboxing Ender's Game Battle School Combat Game and talking about finding games for cheap. Well, Combat, we don't have places around here that we can find games for cheap, because I'd buy them all. Castle Archon reviews Clavius, Solar Marine, a game by Kerry Anderson. And the man who was famously known as Calandale, Enrico Viglino, talks about Emotions. Also, Trois Batailles, The Siege of Danzig's number 3, 4, 5, and 6, with a wrap-up of Les Trois Batailles en Allemagne, and he starts 1848 with his intro. And on Bonding with Board Games, The Chief is back on with Evil Twilight 2000. This is where he takes on a solo play as an evil character. Everything is bad about him. So Season 1, Episode 2, Yellow Belly. And Twilight 2000, the original, Episode number 6, Watch Out the Wheels segment. That is where I am, an Italian sniper with my buddy Dradis, who's the brains of the operation, playing this RPG, having a great time doing it also, every Sunday. Also, preview of Purple Haze from Phalanx Games. On Everything ASL Scenario, archived also, Illuminating Rounds, Episode 61, The Bend, are live. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, Artie is the Grognard of the year. Look at the amount of videos, 12 in a week. Well, look, his unboxings are of Sacred Oil, Flying Colors, Russia Besieged, The Day Was Ours, The Dragon and the Cross. I mean, seriously? And then he flips through the Third Imperium. This is Mongoose Traveler 2nd Edition Sourcebook. And I'm even on with him on everything you were... everything you wanted to know about war games and were afraid to ask. I was on there. We had a great time. And he interviews designer of Catastrophe Games. And even more. Artie, Grog of the Year 2022. This week, 6 Actual is unboxing Combat Volume 2 from Compass Games. This is a game designed by Russ Martell and looks like a good one. They say it's not the equivalent of Ambush, because Ambush, it's a storied thing, but doesn't mean that it's not a bad game, doesn't mean that's not even a better game. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I ordered it. Why? Because it's solitaire. That's right, Stigler. It's solitaire. Now you shut up. Under Falling Skies in 3 minutes, and this is what you get from 3-minute board games. And don't forget, he is on the P500 for a coin game, a sci-fi coin game, Mars Rebellion, I think. Anyways, check it out.
Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurion's Review. This week we did one episode of War Game Chat, a review, and the first look at a magazine game. On War Game Chat, we talked about whether or not Rome existed. A woman on TikTok was claiming that Rome did not exist and provided no concrete evidence whatsoever to support her claim. The review we did was Hannibal, the Italian campaign from Paper Wars magazine number 95. It was originally published by Simulations Canada in 1983. This is a simulation of Hannibal's campaign in Italy during the Second Punic War. It plays a bit like an area control game, but it was very fun to play. Last, we did a first look at Red Dragon Falling from Modern War magazine number 19. It's a game about a hypothetical civil war in China. It only has 8 pages of rules and looks like it'll be easy to learn. Thanks for watching and have a good evening.
Another week, another show, another job. Hey, that's what it is. What can I say? Thanks for watching. Sincerely, thank you for watching. Because why would you want to spend your precious time watching the guy like me? I hope it's entertaining. Please like and subscribe. We've got a lot of people watching and not subscribing. Just click the button, man. You know, no skin off your back. And please donate to this channel. It keeps things going. It really does. I hope you had a good show. And things are looking up. I hope your COVID situation is good, under control. And you know what? Just have a good weekend. Seriously. You know, if you can't love the one you want, love the one you're with. And that's probably you. See you next week.